Hello viewers, this is Not Too Fast here. In today's video I want to show you this excellent car dash camera from the company FineVu. Now this dashcam offers all the premium features you'd find on high-end dashcam brands that are currently on the market. The good news is this one here is much more affordable, and I'm sure you guys will be surprised when I tell you how much this costs at the end of this video. This one here is the FineVu X500 dashcam. It features 2-channel front and rear Full HD 1920 by 1080 recording. It has a large 3.5-inch IPS LCD touchscreen, night vision recording in low light condition, parking mode recording with both motion and impact sensing. It also has a smart time-lapse recording mode which will give you 30% more recording time. There are lots of information to cover in this video, so stay tuned. Let me first show you the unboxing. User manual. This is FineVu X500 dashcam. Mounting hardware. Rear camera. Windshield mounts. Hardwire kit. GPS antenna. Cigarette lighter power cable. Rear camera cable. Here's a look at everything you get with this dashcam. Now one thing I almost missed is in the packing material, there is a micro SD to SD card adapter. Now on this dashcam, they've already installed a Samsung 64GB micro SD memory card. And this is very nice because with most dashcams, you have to buy your own memory card. Let's have a closer look at this dashcam. Right here is a front camera. As I mentioned, it records in Full HD 1920 by 1080. The viewing angle on this camera lens is 155 degrees. It features auto day and night vision recording, so at night it will automatically adjust the video recording for low light condition. This dashcam uses a supercapacitor instead of a rechargeable battery. This makes the dashcam a lot more reliable and also can operate in higher temperature. The operating temperature is minus 10 degrees Celsius to 60 degrees Celsius, or 14 degrees Fahrenheit to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. On this side is an on-off switch. You'll use this to turn the dashcam on and off. Right below that is a memory card slot. As I mentioned, it comes with a 64GB memory card. This one here is a Samsung Pro Endurance memory card. Looking at the top, there's a connector for the power input. Next to it is a rear camera cable input. In the middle is where you'll install the windshield mounts. Over here is a GPS input. Now if you have the GPS antenna connected, this dashcam will also give you ADAS function. ADAS is Advanced Driver Assistance System. This includes forward vehicle moving alarm and lane departure warning system. Looking at the back, there's a 3.5-inch touch IPS LCD screen. The resolution is 800 by 480. Besides using it to go into the setup menu, you can also use it to view the recorded video. On this side there are two LED indicators. The top one is a record LED and the bottom one is a power LED. Right here is a speaker and the microphone is on this side. Now this X500 name is a backlit security light. It will illuminate when the dashcam is recording. To install the windshield mount, simply slide this onto the top. Loosen this knob and you can adjust the angle. There's a double-sided tape right here. Stick this onto the windshield. Connect the GPS antenna to the GPS input port. On the back of the GPS antenna, there's a double-sided tape. You stick this onto the windshield. Here's a rear camera cable. One end is straight. The other end has a 90-degree bend. Plug the straight end into the dashcam. Connect the other end of the cable to the rear camera. This rear camera has a resolution of 1920 by 1080 and the viewing angle is 140 degrees. To install the camera, use a double-sided tape at the back and then stick this onto the back window. You can also adjust the angle of the camera. There are two power cables provided with this dashcam. One is a cigarette lighter plug. With this, you simply plug into your car's 12-volt accessory port, and when you turn on the ignition, the dashcam will turn on. The other option is to hardwire to your fuse box. Now if you decide to hardwire your dashcam, it does give you the additional feature of parking mode recording. So while the vehicle is parked and the ignition is off, the dashcam will record any events if something was to happen to your vehicle. If you want to use a hardwire kit, there are 3 connections you need to make. The red wire here is ignition 12-volt, the yellow wire is constant 12-volt, and the black wire is chassis ground. The power cable will be plugged into the DC input port.
recording starts.
Once the unit is powered on, the recording will begin automatically. That's indicated by the flashing green icon right here. It also tells you 2 channels are being recorded right now. Also, the record white LED is illuminated. Now on the LCD screen, right now you're looking at the front camera. If you tap the screen once, you're now looking at the rear camera. Tap it again, now you're looking at the front camera. To mute the microphone, press the mic icon right here. To unmute, press it again. Next to it is a speaker icon. This will adjust the volume of the speaker. In the middle is the date, time, and speed you're traveling at. If you tap this portion of the screen, it'll switch to the battery voltage reading. Press again. Now go back to speed reading. Next to it is the video camera icon. If you press this, it'll save this recorded video to the camcorder folder.
Emergency recording mode.
The icon here is a menu icon. Here it tells you recording will stop if you go into setup menu. Looking at the setup menu, first item, camera settings. Now there's not a lot of settings you can make on this dash cam. The only one here is auto night vision and is already enabled. Let's go back. ADAS. Here you can change the speed for LDWS or lane departure warning system. Next is a forward vehicle moving alarm. You can turn this on or off. ADAS sound. You can turn this on or off. ADAS setting. This for setting up the ADAS detection area. What you want to do on this screen is after you install the dash cam onto the windshield, you need to adjust this yellow line to line up to the front edge of the hood. Use the arrow button right here to move this line. You can also use the left and right arrow to move the center of the hood. There's the memory settings. The memory card is partitioned into different sections for different recordings. So for example, this light blue color here with the number 60, that tells you 60% of the memory card is used for saving driving recording. This green color tells you 15% of the memory card is used for saving event recording. Yellow is 15% for parking motion. Orange is 5% for parking events. And red is 5% for camcorder recording. You can also change a memory partition. If you press this, you can change it to give more memory to event recording. The next one here, parking priority, will give you 45% for parking event recording. This one, driving only, will give you 80% for driving recording. Now we're back to the first one, driving priority. This button here will allow you to format the memory card. The next menu, record settings. Here you can change the recording method for regular driving mode. The default setting is standard. If you press this, it'll toggle to time-lapse recording. Now this is a Dashcam smart time-lapse recording. So during your normal drive, it'll record at a lower frame rate. Once an impact is detected, it'll immediately switch to record 30 frames per second. Now the benefit of recording in this mode is you get about 40% more recording time on the memory card. But if you don't want this, you can switch it back to standard recording. Next one is a recording method for parking mode. By default, it's motion detection. You can switch it to time-lapse recording. Sensitivity settings. Here you can individually set the sensitivity of each recording type. So here is event recording. Parking events. Parking motion for front. Parking motion for rear. This is the low voltage settings. If you hardwire the dashcam to the fuse box, you'll need to set this cutoff voltage. While in parking mode, you don't want the dashcam to drain the car battery so you can't start the vehicle. By default, it's set to 12.2 volts. If you press it, this option is for using a backup battery, or you can turn off the parking mode. Here's 11.6 volt. Next one, 11.8 volt, 12.0 volt, and now we're back to 12.2 volts. I recommend you set this to 12.2 volts because if your car battery drops to 12 volt, it's actually almost 50% discharge. Cutoff time settings. This will allow you to set how long the parking mode will operate before the dashcam will shut off automatically. By default, it's 12 hours, 24 hours, off, 3 hours, 6, 9, 12. Replay will allow you to play back the recorded files. At the top, you have different folders: driving, event, parking events, parking motion, camcorder, and my. Select the file you want to play back. Press it again.
Video recording starts. GPS is connected.
System settings. LCD display. There's a screensaver. You can have it always on, off after 60 seconds. LCD brightness is auto. Show menus is on. Security LED, that's the X500 name on the front. Date and time settings. Here you set the time and dates. Now if you have the GPS connected, it will automatically adjust the time for you. Menu lock will allow you to set a password for this dashcam, so you need to know the password to view the videos. Let's go back. Now if you press the I, this will show you the settings and also the version of the software. Press live to go back to live view.
Video recording starts.
So let's take this to the vehicle, get it installed, and I'll show you the daytime and nighttime recorded video. To install the dashcam, remove the backing on a double-sided tape and then stick this directly onto the windshield. You can loosen the knob over here and adjust the angle of the dashcam. I angle the dashcam so it's easier to plug in the cables. First I'll connect the GPS antenna. Next plug in the rear camera cable. Now this cable is 19 feet long. Now for powering the dashcam you have two options. One is a cigarette lighter plug. It's very simple. You just plug this into your 12-volt accessory port and the dashcam will turn on and off with ignition. But if you want the added feature of the parking mode recording, then you need to install the hardwire kit. The hardwire kit cable length is 9 feet long and the cigarette lighter power cable is 9.5 feet long. For this install I'll be installing the hardwire kit, which I'll need to run the cable to the fuse box. With the GPS antenna, run this cable up to the headliner and over to the passenger side. So here I'm running the GPS cable over to the passenger side, and using a double-sided tape, I'll stick this antenna in the corner of the windshield. For the power cable and the rear camera cable, run this up to the headliner and over to the driver's side A-pillar. Pull back the weather stripping. Let's run this rear camera cable up along the edge right here. Now you need to be careful and keep the cable away from the side curtain airbag. Run the power cable down along the side and over to the fuse box. Tuck the cable behind the plastic panel. And then bring the cable in from behind. Now reinstall the weather stripping. Now if you have extra cables, you can tuck it behind the headliner. Using a double-sided tape on the rear camera, install this directly onto the back window. Connect the rear camera cable. To find out which fuse you can use for ignition 12 volt and constant 12 volt, you should look at the cover of your fuse box. It will identify what components are for each fuse. So for example, on this vehicle, the power socket accessory 1 is ignition 12 volt, and then the electrical parts bat 2 is constant 12 volt. You should also verify it with a multimeter. So for example, if I test the 10 amp fuse, I have 12 volt. To properly tap a wire into your factory fuse box, you should be using these type of fuse taps. With this, it allows you to keep your existing fuse in the circuit and also add an additional circuit for your accessory. When you remove the factory fuse from this location, you want to take that fuse and plug it into the bottom spot right here, and then we'll plug this fuse tap into the fuse box. The yellow wire goes to constant 12 volt, so I'll crimp this end to my fuse tap. Now I'm going to remove this and then plug the original fuse into this bottom slot. Now before you plug the fuse tap into the fuse box, you want to take your multimeter and test which side the voltage is coming in on. So on the right side I have 12 volt, on the left side 0 volt. That tells me voltage is coming in on the right side, it goes through the fuse and then goes out on the left side. So on this vehicle I'll need to plug this fuse tap in this direction. Voltage is going to come in on the right side, go through the fuse, and go out on the left side. For the red wire that goes to ignition 12 volt, same thing, crimp this end to the fuse tap. Remove that 20 amp fuse. Get your multimeter, test which side is coming in on. Once you know which way it needs to go ahead and plug the fuse tap into the fuse panel. And here's a look at the fuse box with the 2 fuse taps installed. Put the cover back on. Now the last connection you need to make is this ground wire. It already has a ring terminal at the end. I'll connect this to a bolt that's right behind the hood release. Turn on the ignition.
Video recording starts.
Once you start the vehicle, the recording will begin automatically. Here's a front view. Tap the screen. There's a rear view. Once you hardwire this to the fuse box, it will automatically enable the parking mode when you turn off the ignition.
Parking mode.
When the dashcam is in parking mode, the blue power LED will be flashing. It's now ready to detect any motion for both front and rear, and also any impact to the vehicle. Once it detects motion or impact, it will record a 20-second video. I'll simulate an impact by hitting the A pillar. Here you see the record LED is now flashing. That tells you it's recording this video clip. It will also record a short video clip if it detects any motion. When you come back to your vehicle and you start it up, the dashcam will tell you how many events were recorded and also how many motion detection. Here's an example of a recording for motion triggered events. There are two ways you can view the recorded video. One is directly on the dashcam using the large LCD display. To play back the video on the dashcam, press the menu button. Press replay. Here you can select driving normal video, event video, parking event video, or parking motion video. Select the file you want to play back. Press the channel icon at the top to select the rear camera. The second method is to take the memory card out of the dashcam and put it into your computer's card reader. You can play the video using a software like VLC or download the FineVu player. To play back the recorded video, click on the open icon at the bottom left-hand corner. Select the location of your microSD memory card. On the right side, open the drop-down box. You can select the type of video recordings. Select the file you want to play back. Right now you're looking at the front and rear view. You can also select front view only or rear view. Now on the right side is a Google map showing you the direction of travel. At the bottom it will show you the speed you're traveling at and the G sensor. Now if you look at the original recorded file, it's only a single file. Both the front video and rear video is embedded into one single file. If you want to download the separate file, click on the backup button at the bottom here. Now you can save the two individual files to your computer. Here's a look at the two saved files. One says F for front and R for rear. Let's first check out the video in standard recording mode. Now let's take a look at the recording using the smart time-lapse mode. Now I did test the ADAS lane departure warning system. It did work for the most part, and it gave alerts when the car drifted onto another lane, but the alert will also come on if you're changing lanes slowly, so keep that in mind. As for the forward vehicle moving alarm, it will alert you when the vehicle ahead of you starts moving. And I did notice there were times when it gave false alerts. This driving aid can be helpful for some people, but if you prefer not to use it, you can turn it off. As you can see, this FineVu X500 Dashcam is an excellent performer with all the premium features you want in a car dash camera. I like the fact they give you 2 power cable options, so if you want parking mode recording, you can install the hardwire kit. They also include a 64GB memory card, which other companies usually don't, or they give you a smaller size card, like a 32GB size. As you saw in the video, this dashcam has excellent daytime and nighttime recording. The picture has excellent detail. You can clearly read license plates in front of you. And remember, this is a 2-channel dashcam, which means it will record both the front and rear in full HD resolution. I've been running this dashcam for the past month in the Georgia heat, which at times can be 100+ degrees Fahrenheit inside the vehicle, and I've not had any issues with it. One reason this is a reliable dashcam is because it uses a supercapacitor instead of a rechargeable battery. Now with the hardwire cable installed, I tested the parking mode and it worked very well. The dashcam will detect motion front and rear. It also has impact sensing in case someone hits it, so you have full protection while it's parked. Now typically a dashcam with this type of performance and features will cost around $400 to $500. At the time of doing this review, you can get this FineVu X500 dashcam for $169. This is an excellent price point. So if you're interested, check out the link in the description below. I'll also include the links for the fuse taps and tools I used in this video. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, remember to click on a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, please click on the subscribe button to support this channel. Also click on the notification bell so you'll get notified of my new videos. Thank you and have an awesome day.